Ladies and gentlemen, friends young and old, welcome to the Medici family circus, where anything is possible and miracles happen.
I'll start straight off.
Yeah.
I'm a big Sonny fan.
Yes.
So at first impression, I got Frank.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that a deliberate?
No, I just me. Because in all the movies that you do, most of it is you. That's the way I work. Louis, De Palma, the Penguin, Max Medici, and I got a monkey on my shoulder. I'm like really beside myself. It wasn't deliberate for you to think of Frank, but I'm very happy that you did.
All right. The idea of embracing the other is obviously quite a big issue.
The themes of Dumbo are always very, very strong, even in the original one. The fact that the other is always scary to people, that's the xenophobic thing where you look at something that's different than you and you immediately react in a negative way. And Dumbo is just a sweet, wonderful elephant, like any person. You have to reach out and embrace them, which is what Dumbo symbolizes, basically.
There are hints of animal rights as well.
Yes.
Like if there weren't enough themes,
Yes.
There's way more than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Could you talk a little
Very
bit about?
happy about the way we deal with that. We all understand that animals shouldn't be in a cage, so we have to profess those kinds of energies to our children, so that they grow up and value everyone.
One thing you and I have in common is our fear of heights. You spoke about how you had to confront that during the production. Could you talk a bit about this for all of us who are afraid of heights?
Oh my God. I mean, as a child, I could not get on a swing or a roller coaster. It's like fear of heights mixed with swinging, equals horror. So when Tim wanted me to do some of my stunts, I was very worried. So I trained for 2 months and a half, 3 months. And then little by little, thanks to the dedication of wonderful circus performers, I was able to do flips and fly and do crazy things. I mean, it was really in facing my fear that I could overcome it.
The idea of Colette being the queen of heaven, in some ways she's sort of the surrogate mother for the kids in the movie. At first when we meet her, she's very sort of cold and sort of mysterious, and then she climbs out of her shell somewhat. Could you talk a bit about that?
She behaves like a star when you first meet her, and she's quite cold. And she doesn't believe Dumbo can fly, so she's a bit kind of like, oh, what is this? It's a joke. Then, when she sees Dumbo fly, everything changes. She has that awe moment, and she just becomes very attached to him, and then it kind of opens her heart, and she will be ready to risk, anything to save them all.
There are more themes than at first glance, like specifically with regards to Holt, your character.
Yeah.
How would you summarize Holt?
His struggle, really, the whole film was one of reconciliation with his children, and in the time he was gone, his wife, their mother, passed away, so he's got a lot to contend with that, and as you said, his disability, physically coming back from the war and being a different man physically, but also emotionally and psychologically. And I think for Holt, it's just what Colette, Ava's character, says to him, your children don't need you to do it, they just need you to believe in them, and that's kind of a big turning point for him, and listening to the simplicity of that wisdom,
With this being a Burton movie, and in many ways you were sort of the new kid on the block as far as Burton regulars, how did that feel?
I just felt very included. There was nothing to it. It was nice that there was such a familiar energy on the set. Obviously Danny, Michael and Ava have all worked with Tim multiple times, and as you alluded to, behind the camera as well, there was people that Tim had worked with a number of times and who trusted. So I felt like there was a family already there, and I was just slotting myself in.
You had mentioned in a previous interview that when taking on a project, you found that expectation is not your ally, but hope is. I'm paraphrasing here.
Yeah.
Could you touch on that a little bit?
There are so many elements that have to come together for a film to be made. There's the curiosities and the opinions and the philosophies and ideologies of the writer, and the same of the director, and then the people that design the film, and the costume, and the performers, the actors, and the cinematography, and then the editing and the music, and so many ingredients that have to go into the pot, that to ever expect it to work is a madness. I mean, I see films that I feel aren't great films, and I still have a respect for just the endeavour of going out and making it happen and dreaming it into reality.
Great. Colin, thank you
Thanks,
very
man.
much, man. Appreciate
Pleasure.
it.